And this is what they're trying to teach the youths then? Fam, B is for bi, C is for coming out, D is for drag. Fam, fire that boy.
What up, though? Champ, genius, scholar, roll pole for show. Hey, what we talking about?
It's a sensitive subject. You know, we got going on in schools today. There was a city council meeting where a father came and he brought his son. And they're showing these kind of books in schools.
This is bullshit. We know it, all right? We do not need to be having literature that's showing boys how to suck.
I'm a 6th grader. I was in the library. This book was on a stand. I'd like to read you a page. He's undoing my belt. I'm reaching into his bedside drawer for a condom. It reminds me so much of the first time we had sex. We were both fucking terrified, and the whole thing was kind of terrible because we didn't know what we were doing. Now, this book was at my middle school, and it was on a stand. When I rented it out to show my dad it, the librarian asked if I wanted more and if I wanted a graphic novel version.
So that's my son.
Okay.
11 years old. I don't care whether it's gay, straight, bisexual, whatever the terms are for all this stuff, doesn't need to be at our school.
So with this kind of information being out there for a young student, a child to pick up, to learn about fellatio, for small children who just trying to learn their ABCs.
That's not what that book said, though.
2 books.
That's not what that book said, though. No, it didn't say the ABC.
I know it said the GayBCs.
Okay.
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 So when I look at that and I see that video, I'm like, all right, how do you let things like that be in your store? I can understand if it has its own place, even though I don't agree with it. It shouldn't be there for anybody to see. It shouldn't be there for children. I got to come right out and say my piece before I let y'all have it. Okay? Because I'm really passionate about it, man. It's like, this world is bizarre. And I think it's mostly America. Okay? Because the rest of the world and many of these other countries don't allow a lot of the stuff that we accept. Fine. For many years, the alphabet group, okay, it wasn't even called that. This was seen as sexual preference. Okay? You can have that. But why are we pushing it to children when they don't even have the ability to even think or know anything about sexuality? You're trying to ruin them before they even get a chance.
I'll say this, and this is my personal opinion. I think this is a depopulation agenda, right? You know what I'm saying? We can get more boys and more girls liking each other. Guess what? You can't procreate, right? That's what I believe is happening. It's the agenda being pushed, right? You got this type of nonsense, gay ABCs. You got a young man saying performing fellatio, and then talking to the librarian about it and say, well, we have actually more books and more literature for you to read, even more explicit. What are we doing? What are we putting into the young minds? You see what I'm saying? Like, things are way off kilter. And I don't know if you can bring it back. I think we're so far gone that this thing is it's really out there.
Well, I agree with both of y'all. Y'all right on point to me. And it's also odd that we're talking about these type of books at the same time they're banning critical race theory.
Come on, man. I was about to.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't even learn about our own history, but we got to send our kids to school and they see these type of books laying around. I agree. I think it is a part of depopulation. I think a lot of the things they're doing is trying to keep us, stagnant, slow, hating each other, just whatever we can do to keep us divided.
Yeah.
It's on 100 right now. And how can you fix it? Because it isn't just one place. It isn't just one subject. It's everywhere. School. It's at your job some places. Right. You know, it's like everywhere. So how do you combat it? You just, you know, train your kids up the way they should go. You know what I'm saying? We need to teach our own kids. You know, we need to have our own schools. If we're not putting our own minds and our own money together, all we're going to do is just keep complaining and things is just going to keep falling behind.
Why is this okay? And I'm saying, why is this okay? Because it wouldn't be okay if we were teaching boys and girls at this age to be sexual. That wouldn't be okay, would it?
Nope.
That would be wrong. Yeah. If we were teaching ABCs to kids, but we were teaching them to be sexual ABCs, right? Sexual C's, right? But that's wrong, right? So why is this right?
Yeah.
Well, this is the same as sexual preference, correct? Correct? Am I mistaken?
They don't call it sexual preference anymore.
Wait, but am I mistaken? Because at the end of the day, heterosexual just means you prefer the opposite sex.
Yeah.
But I don't force that agenda on children. It's your choice. Once you become mature enough to make a choice about what you like.
There you go.
But what's not fair is to take that choice away from you when you're so young.
Yes. Yeah.
And put that mental time stamp on some 4-year-old or 3-year-old or 5-year-old and put that in them and sow that seed from the very beginning.
They don't get a choice. That's the thing.
Yep.
Right? So
they do get a choice because here's the thing though. This choice is the choice. And they're like, the community wants to get them early to let them know they have a choice. But honestly, until you're mature enough to even make that choice of liking boys or girls, you should be making other choices like how to swing a baseball, how to remember a cheer, how to jump over the hurdles, how to play some volleyball.
There was always, before this shit went completely haywire, okay, what we call in times where children are most impressionable.
Yes.
Okay? And those were younger years.
Yes.
Yep.
Because you don't know anything.
Nothing.
You don't know anything. We talk about, like you just said, we have to teach our children. Mm-hmm. We do our best, but the world still teaches your children, because when you let them go out there, they're going to learn some shit that you didn't teach them. You just got to have the faith and reinforcing good values in them to make sure that they ask questions.
But at the ages of those years that they're so impressionable, sex was hidden from me.
Definitely.
So why in this, and we always talk about this generation is more mature. No, we are destroying their youth by keeping them not naive to certain things.
Right.
By exposing them to everything, we are ruining them.
Man, it's so twisted. Like, my man, he took it right out of my mouth. Like, they banning books that talk about history, our history, or the past that was evil and terrible, but then you want to sow that to them. Like, it makes all the sense to them because we know what the plan is, right? We don't want you to know about what you've done, and I ain't even just trying to harp on that shit, but it's just so real.
I am, because if you don't know your history, you doomed to repeat it.
But at the same time, it affects not even just black and brown people. This affects their kids too.
No doubt, because they are allowed to repeat it. So if you take if you take it out and you don't teach it, then they don't know what's wrong. And since they haven't learned it, they don't know about slavery. So they can continue to perpetuate this racial and racistness through the centuries.
And you know what else? It's like, if you are bi or trans or whatever, that's your thing. But you didn't even learn about it yourself until you got older. And now you want to try to tell the children? You know what I don't like? And I'm into politics. I know a lot of my brothers aren't. I follow it. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm independent. But if you was to call me anything, I'm probably more progressive. Why are we teaching kids about drag? That's not even one of the letters. That's somebody dressing up like the opposite sex and acting like them. But we got all that stuff going around, even in our state, in our city, where they're trying to show this to children. Those are things that were shows for people to go see, not the kids. It's like you're just pushing it down their throat. Hey, do this. This is what you need to know about. I don't need to know about any of that.
And it seems like it's someone from the top that's pushing this on down, because I just saw a video of somebody was recording in Target, the clothing in Target, how the boy clothing is girl clothing now. So you can dress up like your sister. You know, it's like it's everywhere now. It has to be pushed from somebody at the top on all levels. Because if the books are this way, if the clothing this way, if the cartoons is this way, I mean, from like you said, from the first 7 years, really, the earliest years is the most impressionable ones. So they're putting it everywhere for these kids.
I'll give you one thing. International Women's Day was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The president gave an award for National Women's Day to a trans woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is things like that possible?
It just goes back to there is agenda that's being pushed. You know, you said at the very top has always been perverse and sick, you know, but they've always had that within their small circle.
Yeah.
Now they want the populace to be like that. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they're force feeding this down your throat. No pun intended. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
And the thing is, it's like it always eggs me, because even for having this conversation, we're gonna get comments, backlash. For
what? For you know what? For what? Because
we did the show last week. Because young man.
Because I'm being honest. You feel me? Because I'm telling the truth. Because I'm speaking my truth. Like, why do they get to bully me? Why do they get to bully every situation? Like, every situation they get to bully. And how do they do it? So with this passive, aggressive, fucking playing victim type shit for no reason. Like, how can you be a victim to facts?
See, you said the key word, facts.
See,
right now, facts doesn't exist. Choice exists.
Right.
And choice, it has nothing to do with facts.
Nothing to do with facts. But just because your choice is not factual does not make it your choice. And I understand that. And I'm with your choice.
If enough people believe or accept something, it is. That's the way the world is today.
Don't make me.
Everybody
That's how it always been. Or we wouldn't have people rising from the grave.
What you think cryptocurrency is?
Then.
What you think cryptocurrency is?
Listen, man.
It's money that has no actual value.
None.
Okay? But if enough people put money into it, it's worth something. Even though it is nothing.
Space.
If enough people believe or accept something, it is. That's what it is today. That's why you can call something that's a fact fake news. Or the fact that I was born with a piece and my woman wasn't. I can choose to say, well, I'm not. Even though I was born with a piece, I'm a woman. That's a choice.
Damn.
And we've accepted it, and that's why it's just I can accept you. I can accept who you are, LGBTQ person, whatever. But we just going too deep, man.